My goal for all of you in this room for the next 2 hours, I know this title of this presentation was Finding Yourself. It was a spelling mistake. It should have been Loving Yourself. Because I want for you over these next 2 hours, and it's not just what I want, it's what my expectation for you is, I'm going to help you get into a space of unconditional self-love. It's the same goal I have for all of my clients, because for me it's the most important thing we can do for ourselves. And I know there's a thing about loving yourself. You shouldn't love yourself. In fact, in England, it's like used as a derogatory term. Oh, look at her, she loves herself. Look at him, he loves himself. What we should be saying is, how incredible, she loves herself. How wonderful, he loves himself. So that's my goal and my expectation for you, is to get you into that state of unconditional self-love. And I'm going to show you the power of love when it comes to changing your mind. Some of you have heard me speak before, some of you have been in my classes before, and you'll know now that my expectation and my understanding of how we change our mind is if I can create an emotion, I can give you a suggestion that will be taken on board without any resistance. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. You're all going to have an experience of it today. So we're going to get you into that state of unconditional self-love. I run the Jack Quinn Hypnosis Academy with my son Anthony, and when we do a demonstration of any kind of technique for habits or fear or anxiety or pain, we always ask one of the students to, if they want to be a demonstration subject. And a while back now, maybe 2 years ago, I don't know, my son was running a session on changing a habit or negating a habit. So he asked for a volunteer, and one of the students said, she's got a habit, so he asked what it was. She said, I want to stop swearing so much, which is fine, and he worked with her. So, okay. All right, okay. Louder? All right, okay. Right, have you missed any of it, all of it so far? Right. Okay, I can't, look, I'm at an age where I can't remember what I did yesterday, never mind 5 minutes ago. So, we're going to get you into a state of unconditional self-love. I'm going to show you how to use the power of love to help your clients overcome the problems in their life. Because my belief is, if I can create an emotion, I can give you a suggestion that will stick. If you think about any strong memory you have from your past, there'll be a large or a strong emotional element to it, because that's how our brain works. It finds it important, so it'll store it. So I'm going to show you to do that and how to help your clients with it. Now, the brain continually attempts to predict the future by your past. And when we're doing that, our brain does it all the time. But when it's doing that, you're not living in this present moment. Most of your clients will come to you and they'll either be living in their past or living in their future. And if they're living in the past, generally they come to see you because they're depressed. And if they're living in the future, they'll come to see you because they're anxious. But neither of those things exist. But most of us live in the future or the past. And I'm going to show you how to get your clients into the present moment. Quantum physics states that all possibilities exist in this present moment. So training your mind to stay in the present, because in that moment it's where you can change your thoughts, your habits and your behaviours. That's where that happens. So I'm going to show you how to do that today. But the understanding how you can change or affect someone by creating emotion. I'm going to show you this now. So I want you to engage with me on this. I want you to all just place your feet flat on the floor for a moment. And do your best to experience what I'm asking you to experience. And I want you just for a moment to think about the person you love most on this planet. Whether that's your partner, your son, your daughter, your mother, your father, your pet. But I want you to think about that person right now and feel that love. See that face, see that smile, feel that love. I want you to notice, as you feel that love, notice that you're stuck in your chair and you can't stand up. And when you realise you're stuck in your chair and you can't stand up, I want you to try and stand up and find you cannot. And I don't want you to pretend. Try and get out of your chair and find you're stuck. Try as hard as you can, that's right. The harder you try and get up, the more tight you're going to stick. Are you hypnotised? Are you in a trance? Why can't you get out of your chairs? Push even harder. Find you stick even tighter. What's going on? I'm going to say the word love, and of course everything goes back to normal. Of course you better stand up. Love. Try and stand up now. Of course you can. Exactly. Where's the hypnosis in this? Where is any of the stuff you've been taught about deeper, 10 times deeper, 2 times deeper? None of that is important once you have this understanding that if you can create an emotion, you can give a suggestion. Because that's how we've been programmed all our lives. It's happening all the time in everyday life. You know, I'm going to say it this way around because it's probably more common this way around. A woman has a good day at home with her kids. She has a nice day at home with her kids, everything's great. Her partner has a terrible day. He comes in and he's in a bad mood and he says something to that woman that changes her state, changes her emotional state. And in that moment, he says, you're a rubbish mother, or you're a rubbish woman, or you're never going to achieve anything. That is no different. That woman's going to pick that suggestion up and it's going to be stuck with it. That is no different from me saying, think about the people you love and notice you're stuck in your chair. Every client that comes into you is in that stuck state. And that stuck state is either being suggested to them or self-suggested. But it's a stuck state. We tend to think that our client's going to come in, we're going to hypnotise them. They're going to tell us what's wrong with them, we're going to hypnotise them, we're going to suggest they do something else. The fact of the matter is, every client walks into your office or you meet on Zoom is already in a trance state, albeit a 20-year I can't quit smoking trance or I can't lose weight trance. All we have to do in reality, yes, there's some brilliant people here, and yes, some great techniques and great protocols. If you only had 5 minutes to work with a client, once you explain what hypnosis is, you could say in a moment, I'm going to hypnotise you. And at some point, I'm going to explain that they're already stuck in a trance state. And explain that in a moment, I'm going to count to 3. At some point, after you're hypnotised, I'm going to count to 3, and you're going to come out of that 20-year trance you've been in. And I'm going to leave you, and I say, in a positive Freddy trance. There are thousands of people walking around in a positive Freddy trance, don't even know they're in it. All do this for me. I'm going to show you this again. Place your arm out in front of you, shoulder height. Okay? Once again, think about the people you love. In fact, think about the people whose lives you've changed with your kindness and your words and your skills. Think about it now. And see those faces, feel that love. And as you feel that love, notice your hands hanging there all by itself. Imagine there's nothing you could do about that. And when you realise there's nothing you can do about it, I want to try and get your arm down and find it goes even higher. And I do not want you to pretend, push even harder, find it goes even higher. Are you in a trance? Why can't I get your arms down? I'm going to count to 3, I'm going to snap my fingers, and of course your arm will go down. When it touches down, your eyes will open, and you'll realise just how incredible you are and the power of your mind. Your client comes in, they're already in an emotional state. You don't have to create an emotion. You're at the dentist, sitting in a dentist chair, you're not in the same emotional state as you are when you're in the greengrocers. If you're a medical person or a dentist, a nurse, once you understand this piece of information, You can suggest stuff to your client. You can suggest stuff to your patient. They're already in that already changed emotional state. Does this make sense to you? But living in the moment is such an important thing. The way our brain works. Some years ago, they did this bit of research, and they put this guy in one of those HMRI scanners so they could see the activity of his brain. And they gave this guy a simple task. And the task was to press a button in his right hand or his left hand, randomly. Whenever you want to press the button, just press the button. After 5 or 10 minutes of watching this guy's brain activity, the people looking at the screen could predict which thumb he was going to press. And get this, sometimes 15 seconds before he pressed his thumb. Even though he thought he was pressing his thumb randomly as it came to him. The decision to press his thumb had already been made out of conscious awareness. Now, when I read that piece of information, it occurred to me that we can't do anything. If I should pick that flask up, you could do that easily. To build a robot to do that one simple thing would be immense. You need the best mechanics, best computer people. Yet, if I say, can you pick that flask up, your brain would figure out everything you have to do to pick that flask up, take a drink from it without spilling it, and put it back down. It would do it in a microsecond before you even move a muscle. We're geared to survive. You know, that's the number one driver within us. So, of course, if you're going to present or you're going to meet people for the first time, you're going to do anything for the first time. Our brain, our mind, is going to go out and figure out everything that could possibly hurt you before you do it. It would imagine everything that's going to happen, so you don't make that mistake. But we have to keep, and that's what anxiety is. Because the things you're worried about are not happening in this moment. They're happening in the future. And they're imagined. They're not real in this moment. And sometimes, not sometimes, all the time, I explain this to my clients, and I get them to understand whatever you're worried about. If you're feeling anxious, remind yourself at this point in time it's just your imagination. And bring us back to this moment. You could change someone's day, and you could change someone's life just by saying these words. Imagine it differently. Imagine it differently. That's all we have to do to change anxiety. That's all we're doing when we're working with our clients, aren't we? You know, some of you might do the rewind. You know, the screen, the TV screen or the cinema screen. All we're doing is changing submodalities. When they're running that thing in their mind, and the dread or the phobia, they're running those pictures and those words and those sounds. You change any of those modalities, you're going to change the way you feel. Even if you weren't a hypnotherapist, you don't want to hypnotize people. If you ask the person, explain what that feels like. Tell me what's going on. Is it a movie? Is it a photograph? Is it black and white? Is it colour? Is there a sound? Is the sound soft or loud? Is there a feeling? Is that feeling rough or smooth? You ask those questions and write them down. And let's say it's a movie and it's in colour and it's close up and it's loud. Change it. Change the sound. Make the sound soft. Push that picture into the distance. Change it from colour to black and white. Turn the sound down. If we change the submodalities, you can change the way that person feels. Because that's how our brain works. Has anyone got a phobia they want to be free of? Anyone got fear or anxiety they want to feel less? Come up. Yeah, come up. You can come up as well if you like. Come up. I've got another chair. I have got there. Well, this is a technique that I call jumping numbers. Take this. We all know about EMDR, rapid eye movement, and how we program our mind when we're doing that rapid eye movement in our sleep. That's what's going on when we're asleep. All the information that's come, all the millions of bits of information that come in through the day, when you're in rapid eye movement sleep, what your brain is doing is going, that's not any worth looking at. And in the morning you wake up, hopefully, with just the stuff that's going to keep you alive and keep you safe. So we're going to use that in this technique. And we're also going to use a symptom scale. Because there are two things that I symptom scale. One is fear and one is pain. And the reason I symptom scale those two things is because we remember being in pain, but when the pain's gone, it's really hard to remember what that pain was like. I say that's why women have more than one child. They can remember what the first one felt like. They go, no, stop in here. You know, we can remember we were in pain, but you can't remember what that pain was like. It's the same with fear. So I'm going to ask you the question. I don't need to know what the phobia is or the anxiety is, but I want you to, knowing you're safe in that chair, think about it now, and knowing you're safe, on a scale of 1 to 10, how anxious does that make you feel? How scared are you? Sorry? Say it again.
Probably an 8.
8? 8, okay. Well, it's lucky for me you're both an 8. So not lucky for you, but lucky for me. Right, so this is how this works. It's very simple. And it's, you know, you can run it with anybody. So I want you to do this for me. You do this eyes open, eyes closed. I want you to close your eyes. And now let me show you what I'm going to do first. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to imagine something. And now whatever I imagine, if you're going to see it, I want you to move your eyes, not your head. Right? It's good. You're going to get a number jumping back at you, but I want you to move your eyes, not your head. Got it? Okay. Get that number 8 up in front of you. Picture it. Put a colour on it if you want. Got it? Okay. Move it right out into the distance, so it's right out in the distance. So it's a tiny little 8 in the distance. I'm going to snap my fingers and that number 8 is going to come straight back at you, jumping side to side, but I want you to follow it with your eyes, okay? Here it comes. Watch that number jumping from side to side. Follow it with your eyes. Okay, right, it's right in front of you. Now make that 8 a huge 8, like a skyscraper. Now watch as it shrinks down and morphs into a 7. See that 7 in front of you? Picture it, put a colour on it if you want. Now move that right out into the distance, so it's a tiny little 7 in the distance. I'm going to snap my finger, here it comes, even faster than before. Follow it with your eyes. Here it comes, jumping side to side. It's right in front of you. See it growing as large as a skyscraper. Now watch as it shrinks down into a number 6. Get that 6 up in front of you. Now push it right out into the future. Far as you can see, so you hardly see it. I'm going to snap my fingers, here it comes, faster than before. Follow it with your eyes. Now it's right in front of you. Make that huge. Now as it morphs down into a 5, get that 5 in your mind. Do the same again, push it right out into the distance so it's tiny. Here it comes, jumping towards you. Follow it with your eyes, that's right. Now watch it grow. Now morph it down into a 4. See that 4 in front of you? Get it clear in your mind. Now push that right out into the distance so you can hardly see it. Here it comes, jumping side to side. Watch that number jumping towards you. Now it's in front of you. Now watch once again as that grows as high as a skyscraper. And watch as it morphs into the 3. See that 3 in front of you? You can feel those changes in your body now. Push it right out into the distance. I'm going to snap my fingers, here it comes, jumping towards you. Now it's right in front of you. Make it huge. Now watch as it morphs down into a 2. That's right. Feel those changes in your body. Push that right out into the distance so it's tiny. Here it comes, jumping even faster towards you. Follow it with your eyes. Now it's in front of you. Now make that huge and watch as it morphs into that 1. See that 1 in front of you. Push it out into the distance. Here it comes, even faster than before. Watch it with your eyes. Now watch that number 1 in front of you. It's huge. Watch it morph into a 0. Now push the 0 right out into the distance and here it comes back at you, even faster than before. Now watch that 0 in front of you and make that huge. And when you're ready to free yourself forever from that anxiety, that fear, I want you to step through that 0 into a space of total freedom. Do it now. That's right. And from today, no matter how hard you try, you will never experience that fear and anxiety again. And the harder you try and remember what it felt like, the further away it goes. From today, no matter how hard you try, you will never experience that fear again. And the harder you try and remember what it felt like, the further away it goes. You know, it's easy to forget. Put our keys down, forget where we put them. It's easy to forget. I don't know, it'll be a minute from now, or an hour from now, or 30 years from now, when you suddenly realise you've been thinking about something else entirely. And every ounce of that fear disappeared right here, right now, replaced by a feeling of freedom and a new understanding of just how incredible you are. I'm going to count to 10, and every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon. On 8, your eyes will open. You're going to feel incredible because you are incredible. And on 10, that feeling of freedom is going to grow stronger day by day. 1, feeling wonderful. 2, to create the life you want by helping others create the life they want. How incredible are you? 3, feeling freedom from every limitation. 4, feel the force of that energy and love flooding through your body and mind. 5, feeling incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes open, you're feeling absolutely incredible. 9, 10. Hey, look at me. Where's the fear gone now? Try and feel it and find you cannot. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's the fear gone now? Try and feel it. No. It will never bother you again. Thank you for coming up.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, take care. Right. Now, as I said, I call this, the title is Finding Yourself. And that's really about understanding that you are not your body. I'm going to ask you a question. How old are you? And I don't mean how old is your body, I mean how old are you? Because it won't be your body age, will it? No. I'm going to give you an experience in a moment of separating from your body. And you'll notice that the essence of who you are is ageless. And it's infinite. It has no edge. When you have that understanding that you're not your body, everything changes. We've got Dr. Marina Costina in here, and she's a great friend of mine, and she's a phenomenal person. And she works with energy and aura. She has machinery that can actually photograph your aura or your energy. And when we react to a situation, we're surrounded by an energy field. When we react to a situation, that energy field shrinks. And we become more matter than energy, more particle than wave. When you're living in the moment with an open heart, you increase the magnetic energy around you. You've seen people and they say that person's charismatic, or they have an animal magnetism. And the word magnetism is true, because that's what it is. You draw people to you when you increase the magnetic energy around you. But we can all get into that space, providing we are living in the moment with an open heart. And it's not easy. We have to train ourselves to do it. But when we can achieve that, it's incredible. And our life changes. In that space we can change our life. And we know now, don't we, that our minds, we can change our physical being. Is there anyone here that's not well, that would like to make that a difference in their body and mind? Okay, well, I've only got 2 chairs, so Samantha, did you put your hand up? No, who? Oh, Yasmin? Yeah, come up. Just met Clarity, so I was just saying what a great name that is for a hypnotist. Come up. Anyone else? Right, sorry, come up, Paul. Take a seat. You know what hypnosis does? This is how I see it. It gives us, the operator, the hypnotist, access to the underlying programs. If you think that everything you do, every skill you have, was learned, And how we learn and then allow it to become an automatic function is incredible. It allows us to function at the level we function as human beings. Think about all the incredible skills you've got. Driving, walking, talking. Many of you have got 3 or 4 languages in this room. Once it's learned, it's very difficult to change at a conscious level because it's no longer a conscious thought, it's an unconscious ability. When it comes to healing, you know, we all have an automatic healing ability, don't we? You know, we cut our finger, we put a Band-Aid on it. We don't have to think, I want that to heal, I want that to heal. A day later, we take it off and it's scarred over, and then it disappears. Our body is doing what it needs to do. We have this automatic healing ability, but sometimes through trauma, through environment, through emotion, there's a breakdown in that ability. For me, quantum healing is what we're going to do here today. It's based on the premise that every cell in your body exists as an individual cell, and it's like 70 trillion cells in your body. But within each of those cells, there's enough information to clone you. We know this because they've done it with sheep, they've done it with cattle. And all that makes you what you are, the incredible individual that you are, is a unique communication between those cells that gives you your hair colour, eye colour, skin colour. Now, when those cells are communicating perfectly, you're perfectly well, you're in perfect health. But as I said, sometimes there's a breakdown in that communication. But as hypnotists, we have an ability to communicate directly with that underlying ability. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you just to place your feet flat on the floor for me, Clarity. I am going to speak directly to the part of you responsible for your immune system, and it will communicate. I don't know how you've done that because it's an unconscious part of your being, but it'll communicate. And the first thing I'm going to do is ask it to allow me to communicate directly with every cell, every molecule, every atom, every neuron of your body and mind. And then I'm going to ask those cells to reconnect the communication that's going to allow that healing to take place. Now, I'm not going to promise you anything, right? And I'm not doing anything either. You already have the ability. All I am is a catalyst for getting you into that space where you can tap into your own healing ability and you are going to have an experience. All right? You know what needs to be changed. I don't need to be a doctor and I don't need to know what you need to do. But you know what you need to be changed. And in a moment, you're going to feel completely different to you are now. Can you all hear me at the back still? Yeah? Okay. Right, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do and I'm going to do it. In a moment, I'm going to pick up that hand, if that's okay. Now, as I pull it up to here, I want you just to allow your eyes to close. I'll push it down, your eyes will open. I'll pull it up, your eyes will close. I'll push it down, your eyes will open. That's all I'm going to do, Clarity. Is that all right? Okay? Don't go into a trance till I've done it, or I know you're eager. If I borrow that arm, as it goes up, close your eyes. As I push your hand down, allow your eyes to open, relax even more. As that hand goes up, allow your eyes to close. As that hand goes down, allow your eyes to open, relax even more. As that hand lifts and your eyes close, feel that wrist stiffening, feel the elbow locking, feel the forearm muscle tightening, feel that arm going completely rigid as it hangs there on that wire. As I pick that hand up, Paul, you're going to go straight in. Go there now, that's right. That's right, go deeper, deeper down. You're going to feel your body moving as that healing begins. And I'd like to speak directly to the part of you that runs your immune system. If it's willing to allow me to communicate directly, I want it to allow an honest, unconscious signal to occur. And I don't know, it'll be the eyes that flicker, hands that lift, the body that moves. You're going to feel an energy around that left hand, Clarity, and when you feel it, you're going to feel that hand being pulled up off your leg. Feel that magnetic force, putting that hand up now, higher and higher. And as it goes higher and higher, you're going to go deeper and deeper. Feel that arm lifting. Now I'd like you, Clarity's unconscious mind, to allow me to speak directly to every cell, every fibre, every muscle in her body. If it's willing to allow me that communication, I want it to increase those signals so she and I understand. You're going to feel an energy around your hand, Paul. That left hand pulling up off that leg now. That's right. Feel those changes taking place in your body. Now I'd like to ask those cells to reconnect the communication that will allow that healing to take place. And if it's willing to spin up that healing now, I want it to increase those signals. That's right. Hands moving, arms moving, eyes closing. That's right. Feel that change in your body, Clarity. You can feel that energy flooding through your body now. Feel those changes taking place, Paul. That's right. And I want the unconscious mind to spin up that healing now. And as that part spins up that healing, be brave. It's the last time it's going to affect you, Paul. Be brave. It's the last time it's going to affect you. Feel that energy going through your hand, Clarity. That's right. Feel that feeling, changes taking place. Go out into the future, tomorrow, this afternoon, next week, and see yourself well. Feel those changes taking place, Clarity, at a hormonal level. Imagine that's happening automatically. There's nothing you can do about it. And feel your body moving as those changes take place now. That's right. Something that had seemed hard to do turned out to be surprisingly easy. Be brave about this. It's the last time it's going to affect you. And as those changes take place, I'm going to speak to the rest of the room. We have the ability to communicate directly with the unconscious mind. And directly with every cell, every fibre, every molecule of that person's body and mind. Never underestimate the power you have through hypnosis. Get a sense of that now. Only as quickly as those changes have taken place, at a molecular, cellular, neurological level, that will allow you that freedom to heal now, only then will those arms drift down, only then your eyes open, with a feeling of freedom you may have never experienced before, and a totally new understanding of just how incredible and how loved you are. Get ready. Only as quickly as those changes take place, only then will those hands drift down, only then will your eyes open, and you with a feeling of freedom you may have never experienced before. Go ahead, take your time, do it thoroughly, while I wait quietly for your return. You know, as human beings, it's hard for us, isn't it, when our clients get emotional. And I know it's hard to watch, but when someone's in that emotional state, you need to be very direct with your suggestions. You know, I think of it as a time when, imagine you're a brain surgeon and you've got a young person on that table, you've got to take that piece of skull out. For most of us, that would be horrendous. They have to steel themselves to do it so they can help that person heal. And it's the same in your office. You have to be prepared to see people crying. And we're human. Of course we're going to be emotional. I'm going to count to 10 and those arms will drift down, your eyes will open and you will feel incredible. 1, feeling wonderful now. 2, to allow that healing to take place. 3, a feeling of freedom from all the fear and anxiety and dread you've been feeling. 4, feel the force of that healing energy flooding through your body and mind now. 5, feeling incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, hands drifting down. 9, 10. That's right, Paul, all the way back, feeling absolutely wonderful. It's the last time it's going to affect you, Paul. Be brave. Okay, you all right, Clarity? You okay? Thanks for coming up. Let me know how you get on, right?
Thank you.
And expect to be well.
Thanks.
Imagine it's happening and there's nothing you can do about that. Go. Thanks. Sorry.
Thanks, Freddie.
Thank you. You okay?
I'm not sure where I am.
You're at HypnoThoughts Live 24 with all these beautiful people. And you're on the road getting yourself back to well-being. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
Okay, great. We are the only therapists, because we have hypnosis, that has access to those underlying programs. Whether that be a habit, pain, fear, lack of self-esteem, we have access to that programming. Is there anyone here in pain? Come up. Physical or emotional, don't mind. Yeah? Anyone, we'd have to bring a few chairs up, I think, but if you want to take, so we don't actually need to share, but you can sit down, you two. Anyone else in pain who wants to be free of it, come up. Come up. You don't need a chair. Your legs will support you. Okay, as many as you like, come up. Right, okay, great. Yeah, come up. Now when we're working with pain, you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical person. And for many years, I thought it was well beyond my remit to work with anyone in pain. So the first question I'm going to ask all of you is, have you been to your doctor, and has your doctor deemed the pain you're experiencing as useless and unnecessary, chronic, useless pain? In other words, it's no longer doing you any benefit. It's outlived its purpose. Is that right? Is the pain you're experiencing, is it serving you in any way now? So you could, I'm going to ask in a different way. In a moment when you're free of the pain, will it be detrimental to you in any way to be free of that pain? No? Okay. Well, again, I'm going to symptom scale this because, as I said, in the moment when you're free of that pain, it'd be really hard to imagine what it felt like. So I'm going to go along the line on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being excruciating, 0 being no pain at all. How much pain are you in?
So right now I'm on
6?
6. 4, right?
4?
8.
8? 8?
6.
6?
4.
4?
5.
7?
7.
7.5. Okay.
7.
7?
4. 6.
Okay, because in a moment you won't be able to feel it. So I've asked you that question. It won't be detrimental to be free of it, because in a moment you won't be able to feel it. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
You all know how to do this. Take a breath in. Hold it. As you breathe out, allow your eyes to close and go into trance. Think of those other experiences of hypnosis you've had. Go even deeper into trance. Every word I say now is going to take you deeper and deeper. Get a sense of that happening automatically. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. The deeper you go, the better you're going to feel. And as you drift into that space, my voice is going to drift with you to become a part of your experience now. Every word I say is going to take you 10 times deeper. Imagine that's happening, there's nothing you can do about that. Everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon. Without hesitation, it's now your reality. In a moment, you can have the most incredible experience of liberation and freedom. No matter how deep you go, your legs or that chair will support you. You're going to have the most incredible experience of liberation, because in a moment, the essence of who you are, that intangible part of a human being, the passenger, the observer in that physical body, is going to separate out through the top of your head, out through what's known as the crown chakra. Get a sense of it opening now, and get a sense of drifting up, out through the top of your head, leaving your body where it is. And as you drift away from your body, I want you to look back at that body and show it some appreciation. How incredible is your body? Because it is the most incredible creation in this known universe. Just think about it. For a moment, think about your feet. How incredible are your feet? How many places have you been? How many people have you met because of your feet? How many miles have you traveled? How incredible are your feet? Think about your hands. How incredible are your hands? How many things have you been able to do because of your hands? How many people have you held in your hands? How much love have you felt through your hands? How incredible are your hands? So as you drift away from your body, Look back at that body, make a decision to look after that body. And know it's okay to love your body, because it is the most incredible, beautiful thing on this planet. Get a sense of drifting even further away, drifting up out of this building, drifting up into the Nevada sky, drifting so high that you can look back at this beautiful planet we live on and see it spinning through space, that beautiful blue planet, the whites of the clouds and the mountain tops, the greens of the forest, the blue of the ocean. And notice as you look at that beautiful planet from way off, how your perspective changes. You can think about the 8 billion people on this planet, of which you are one unique individual. And notice how your perspective changes. Things that had seemed overwhelming no longer have any power over you. Things that had seemed hard or difficult to overcome no longer have any power over you. Now in your mind's eye, get a sense of a target, like an archery target, a massive target or a spinning vortex of light. And in the center is that useless, unnecessary pain that you were experiencing. Every ounce of that useless, unnecessary pain in the center of that target. In a moment, I'll make this sound. As I make that sound, you'll be fired, shot like an arrow, straight through the center of that target into a space of total bliss. But I want you to be brave. Because as you go through the target, you may experience that pain even more intensely for a split second, a microsecond. So be brave. This is the last time it's going to affect you. Get ready. And now you're in that space. Once again, think about the people you love, people that love you. See those faces, feel that love now. And notice as you see those faces, how that pain is dissipated from your body. Now get a sense of going across the other side of this room so you can see yourself sitting in that chair or standing there. And notice you can see the clothes you're wearing, you can hear my voice. And notice as you watch yourself from the other side of the room, how every ounce of that useless, unnecessary pain has gone from your body and mind. You cannot feel it, you cannot see it, you cannot experience it. As you watch yourself, every ounce of pain has gone from your body. And I'd like you, your unconscious mind, to make those changes now at a molecular, cellular, neurological level that will allow you complete and utter freedom from every ounce of the useless pain. Do it now. And only as quickly as the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes, that's right, and allows the conscious mind accept the changes made, only then will you drift back over to your body, drop back into your body. Only then will your eyes open and you, with a smile on your face, unable to experience any of that pain. Go ahead, take your time. Only as quickly as the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes and allows the conscious mind to accept the changes made, only then will you drift back over to your body, drop back into your body. Only then will your eyes be able to open and you, with a smile on your face, unable to experience that pain. Go ahead, take your time, do it thoroughly, while I wait quietly for your return. Look at me. Where's the pain gone now? Try and feel it and find you cannot. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's the pain gone now? Look at me. On a scale of 1 to 10, where's the pain gone? Try and feel it and find you cannot. Where's the pain gone? Gone? Try and feel it and find you cannot. Where's that pain gone? Can't feel it? No, can't feel it? Try and feel it and find you cannot. Gone? Where's the pain gone now? Gone? Where's the pain gone now? Okay. Where's that pain gone now?
Using it for something different.
Sorry?
Using it for something different.
Using it for something different? Okay, great. Okay, so I don't need you to pretend. Enjoy that freedom and understand you already had the power. And any time you want to in the future, because we are going to suffer pain at different times in our life, remember this, how we went through this. And just take yourself into hypnosis, get a visual of that target, do what I've just asked you to do, think about the people you love, and use that power to overcome this, right? Thanks everyone for coming up. Thank you. That's brilliant. Thanks. All right. Are you okay? Right, good. Excellent, thanks. You know, I'm open to any questions, so please ask. Don't ask all at once, but if you've got any questions about this. I know to look at it, you think, can that be possible? It is. There is nothing I can do that you cannot do. You don't have to shave your head bald and grow a goatee beard to do what I do, trust me. Otherwise, that would be funny. So, a room full of bald, bearded people. You know, the way our mind works, it's incredible. I'm going to give you all an experience now of separating from your body and mind. You know, I talk about the essence because I'm not a religious person at all. But some cultures may call it the soul, maybe call it the spirit. I call it the essence of who we are. That intangible part of us. The observer of our thoughts. Watching us behaving badly. I call it the essence. Imagine, I don't know how many people in this room, maybe 100 people. Imagine a room with 100 airtight jars in them. And the air in the jar is separated from all the rest of the air by an airtight lid. Imagine all those lids being removed simultaneously in the same instant, and the air in the jars becomes just air with no separation. In a moment, you're going to have that experience. And it will be emotional. Because in a moment, there will be no separation in this room. You'll understand that all of us are connected. We're separated by these physical forms, but that's all there is. In a moment, you're going to feel that feeling of connection with everyone in this room, and you're going to feel the love in this room. Now, the thing about HypnoThoughts Live, and it's why I love coming here, it's just a love fest, isn't it? I mean, in the nicest possible way, of course. But it is. You know, everybody wants the best for everybody else. There is no competition here. You know, everybody's here for the same reason. I doubt any of you got into this because you thought you were going to make a lot of money out of it. I doubt any person in this room thinks, oh, I'm going to be a hypnotherapist, going to earn a lot of money. You've done it because maybe you've had experience of hypnosis and you want to be able to do that for somebody else. Everyone in this room is a caring person. You're going to feel the connection in this room, and it's going to be incredible for you. So are you ready for this experience? If you don't want this experience, you best leave the room. Because it is going to be life-changing. I promise it's going to be life-changing when you understand that there is no separation between us. When we can tap into that collective consciousness that Jung spoke about to achieve what we want to achieve. Are you ready? Okay. Place feet flat on the floor. No matter what happens next, your chair will support you. Okay? And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take you into that space of unconditional self-love. Because I want everyone to experience it. So get ready. Take a breath in. Hold it. As you breathe out, allow your eyes to close. And remember those other experiences of trance that you've experienced. How it's felt to sit and listen to that voice speaking to you. Remembering the words and the sounds and how it felt as you drifted into that beautiful space. Get a sense of that now. Because not moving, not speaking makes it easier to not listen to anything other than the sound of my voice as you go deeper and deeper. Get a sense of that happening. Everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon without hesitation. It's now your reality. In a moment, you're going to have that feeling of liberation. The most incredible feeling of liberation. Because in a moment, the essence of who you are is going to separate from that body. Get a sense of that happening now. Once again, drifting up, out through the top of your head out through what's known as the crown chakra. Get a sense of that now, just drifting away from your body. And once again, look back at that body in the chair. How incredible are you? You are the most incredible creation. And as you drift away from your body, I want you to notice that the essence of who you are is pure energy, pure intelligence, light and love. That is who you are. You are pure energy, pure intelligence, light and love. And anything that's not that is not you. Get a sense of that now. You are love, and you are loved, and you are loving. Get a sense of that now. Get a sense of drifting even higher, out of this building, up into that blue sky. Get a sense of drifting so high that you can see that beautiful planet spinning through space. How incredible, how incredibly lucky are we to have landed on this planet after all the planets out there in the universe. How lucky are we? How lucky are we to be in this room together? Get a sense of drifting up out of your body and the essence of who you are. Now get a sense of that connectedness between all of us in this room. Feel all that feeling of love that you have for everyone in this room, and feel that feeling. You're no longer separated by your physical form. Get a sense of that now. The most intense, incredible feeling of love. Because you are love, and you are loved, and you are loving. Get a sense of that now. And feel that feeling of freedom. And understanding you are not your body. You are not your name, because that was given to you. And that whatever you thought you were, you are so much more than that. Get a sense of that now. And this feeling of connectedness in this room, feel the love in this room. Feel your heart expanding with that feeling of love. And as you drift in that space, just for a moment, think of a moment of laughter. Something you just laughed at, just made you laugh, one of those belly laughs. Think about it now. Step into that moment of laughter and feel into that feeling. And I want you to do this physically. I want you to reach up with your right hand as if you're reaching up for the stars, and grasp that feeling of laughter and pull it into your heart center. Pull it into your heart center and put your left hand over your right hand. Pull that feeling of laughter into your heart. Feel your heart expanding with that feeling of laughter. That's right. Now think of a moment of gratitude for someone or something. A moment of pure gratitude. And when you feel it, step into that feeling of gratitude. And once again, with your right hand, reach up with your right hand. Grasp that feeling of gratitude. Pull it into your heart center. Put your left hand over your right hand and feel that feeling of laughter and gratitude. Feel your heart expanding with that feeling. How incredible are you? Now think of a moment of pure, unconditional love for someone, or when someone felt that for you. And reach up into yourself and feel that feeling. When you feel it, reach up and grasp it with your right hand. Pull that into your heart center and put your left hand over your right hand and feel your heart expanding. And notice that your heart can't contain that much love. It's spreading through your body. Feel your body being flooded with that feeling of unconditional self-love now. Now it's okay to feel that love. And notice as you feel that love that every doubt has gone. Because it cannot coexist in your body and mind with that feeling of unconditional self-love. And you're going to take this feeling into everything that you do. Because you are love, and you are loved, and you are loving. And get a sense of that now. In a moment, you're going to drift back into your body, drop back into that body in that chair, and you're going to go even deeper into that beautiful space. Every limitation gone, every negative limiting belief gone. I'm going to count to 5. And every suggestion I've given you, your mind and body will act upon. And on 4, your eyes will open and you'll realize that you are love. And you are connected to everyone else in this room through that feeling of love. And on 5, that new understanding is going to grow stronger day by day. 1, feeling wonderful. 2, to create the life you want by helping others create the life they want. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limitation, every negative thought, every irrational fear that ever held you back. 4, feel the force of that energy and love flooding your body and mind. Eyes opening. 5. You know, I know some of you have used the is it daycare centre with Sandra and all her, you know, the beautiful, brilliant people she's got there. Yeah? You know, Sandra Grace, it's our 5th anniversary because I met her here 5 years ago. And that's how incredible this community is. Mike Mandel asked me to run some training for him in Toronto. This is in 2019, I believe. One of the students, when I call him a student, one of the people on that training was Nicholas Spohn. And if you don't know Nick, he's one of those people, for me anyway, you know, to know him is to love him, as the song goes. And we became friends on that course. And then we met at HypnoThoughts Live later that year, and he introduced me to Sandra Grace. If you don't know Sandra Grace, she's an incredible therapist. And she runs that, I think it's called daycare, is it? Say it again? Self-care. Yeah, okay, yeah. Well, she runs that. She does that. Sorry? Daycare. The self-daycare centre, anyway. So she runs that because she wants to give back to this community that's given her so much. And she's the most incredible, wonderful woman. But she asked the 2 best questions in the world. She asked them of me because after we met here in 2019, she lives in America, I live in the UK, but we work with each other. I had something I want to work on, she'd hypnotise me. Next week, I'd work on something she wanted to work on. It was kind of a great way of both of us improving how we wanted to be. And she asked me these 2 questions, and I've asked them of thousands of clients now. And I teach it to every student as well, because I think they're the best 2 questions in the world. And her 2 questions is this: what has to happen for you to love yourself enough to treat yourself to the life and the love you want? What has to happen for you to treat yourself to that, to love yourself enough? So that's her number 1 question, which I think is the best question we can ask ourselves and ask our clients. Her second question, which is equally as important, is if you're not living the life you truly want right now, if not, why not? If you're not living the life you want now, if not, why not? If you answer those 2 questions honestly, you can change your life. I have 3 questions that I tag onto that for my clients. And it doesn't matter what they want to achieve. I ask these 3 questions. What do you want? What do you want? Most of the clients, especially if they've been in different kinds of therapy, talking therapy, they're going to want to tell you why they are like they are. You can spend weeks of them telling you why they are like they are, because that's what people have done to them before. It's a great way of earning money. Keeping your client, what's the problem? When did it start? I say this to my clients, I have to say it, I don't mean it rudely. I'm not interested in why you are like you are. What I want to know is, how do you want to feel an hour from now? How do you want to be a week from now, a year from now? Because we have a tool called hypnosis that can move you from, you've been seeing it here. It's not weeks of therapy. It can move you from where you are to where you want to be rapidly. I've helped over 25,000 people quit smoking. In 25 1,000 hours. Each of those people I've seen once. They come in as a smoker, they go out as a non-smoker. Because I use the power of emotion. If someone in front of me smoking, I always ask the question, who's the most important people in your life? If one of those people is a child, that person's not walking out my office smoking. Because I'm going to use that child to get them to realise just how important they are and how loved they are. I ask simple questions. Would you want your child smoking, and why would you want to do it? If all of us ask that question when we go to do something detrimental, whether that's eating rubbish, eating too much, smoking, doing drugs, whatever it is, we ask the question, would I want my child doing this? That's a simple question. Would I want my child doing it? If you want your child doing it, why would you do it? If someone's speaking badly to you, ask the question, would I want someone speaking to my child like this? If the answer is no, then don't let people do it to you. If we lived our lives like that, we'd all live to 90. You know, for me, none of this is complex. None of it. The way we change our lives is not complex. We ask the question, what do I want? So my first question is, what do you want? My second question is, what do you need to do to achieve that? And most people know the answer to those two questions. We know what we want, and generally, if you're all intelligent people in this room, you know what you need to do it. Most of you are hypnotherapists who will work with people who want to lose weight. Most of those people know exactly what they want to do, they need to do. They know what they're doing wrong. So my second question is, what do you need to do to make that happen? But my third question is where most people fall down. And the third question is this: what are you willing to do to make that happen? What are you willing to do to create the body you want, the life you want, the health you want? What are you willing to do? And that's why Sandra's question is so important. Why would you quit smoking if you don't love yourself enough? Why would you lose the weight if you don't love yourself enough? So I'm asking you all to ask that question. In fact, Sandra was at the back of the room. You know, and those two questions she asked me changed my life. And as I was saying, my son worked with this woman who wanted to stop swearing so much. So he worked with her, and then I asked him afterwards, why didn't you ask if she wanted to stop swearing completely? He said, well, that's ridiculous. We want to stop swearing completely. It's part of our culture. So I said, I don't think we need to swear. So I said, in fact, I'm going to stop swearing. It hadn't worked, but I did say it. I said, I'm going to stop swearing. So I was very aware of when I was swearing, once I said that I was going to stop. And I tell you, all the swearing I was doing, not just some of it, all of it was at me. You stupid this, you effing that, all of that swearing was at me. And I have a friend in Australia called Gayleen. It's a very Australian name. I haven't heard it anywhere else. But she's a fantastic woman, and she comes up with these nuggets of gold, certain things, you know, when we're talking. She's a therapist out there. And I told her about this, you know, me swearing at myself, and I thought it was funny. You know, all the swearing's at me. She didn't think it was funny at all. She got really serious really quickly. She said, that's self-abuse. And I even looked at it like that. Because I wouldn't speak to a friend like it. I wouldn't speak to my child like it. Yet I was speaking to myself like it. She said, that's self-abuse. She said, what you need to feel is an unconditional self-love. And she helped me get to that space of unconditional self-love. And I'll tell you what happened. The moment I felt that, I started eating differently. Why would you feed rubbish to someone you love? You know, if you have a friend that makes a mistake, you don't stop loving them because they make a mistake. And yet we're much harsher on ourselves. Once you get into that feeling of unconditional self-love, which I'm hoping you're all feeling now, because we took you into that space, your life changes. When we ask the questions that Sandra asks, you could ask that all day long. What has happened for me to love myself enough? Treat myself to the body I want, or the health I want, or the life I want. What has to happen? If I'm not living that life now, if not, why not? We all know the answers to these questions. When I see someone for weight loss, there's only 2 questions. How bad do you want to look or feel that good? How bad do you want this? Because there are some things we cannot change. Otherwise, I'd be taller, I'd have a lot more hair. But there are things we can change, and weight is not one of those things we can't change. This question is, how badly do you want to look or feel that good? That's the only question. What are you willing to do to create the body you want, the health you want, the life you want? They're the only questions, and pretty much with everything else in our life. We don't have to live with fear and anxiety anymore. We don't have to live with depression. We don't have to live a life that's not serving us anymore. We don't have to do it anymore because we have hypnosis. How many people, look at you all in this room. How many lives are you helping just in this room alone? You know, we have that tool. It's the most incredible, powerful psychological tool known to man as far as I'm concerned. And it doesn't have to take weeks or months. You know, I believe, and everything I say is just my opinion, all right? And it's real. It's my opinion. I believe that we are geared to thrive. As human beings, we are geared to thrive. Given the right opportunity, we will thrive. You know, I've got a beautiful garden. I keep bees, and I'm still fascinated when I put a seed in the ground and that little green shoot pops up. I still love it. Now, providing I give that plant the right nutrition and water and kind of shelter it when it's young, it's going to grow into its potential. Unfortunately for some of us, we don't have the right environment, the right care, the right nutrition. But given the right opportunity, we're going to thrive. So I believe that we are only ever making the best decisions for ourselves. Right throughout our life, we're making the best decisions. Unfortunately, we're making those decisions with the information we have at that time. When you're 4 and 5, 7, 13, even 20, you haven't got all the information, but you're still going to make a decision. The scary thing about us as human beings, and it is a scary thing, most of your beliefs, who you are, what you can, what you cannot achieve, most of those beliefs, even your religious beliefs, were created by a child under 7. That is a pretty scary thought. You would not have a 5-year-old girl making a decision about what you can achieve in your life or who you are. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't have a 4-year-old boy making a lifelong decision about what your potential is. And yet most of our beliefs were created by a child under 7. So we're only ever making the best decisions we can. But we don't have to live with decisions we made when we were 4 or 5 or 6 or 13. I've seen, as I said, over 25,000 people help them quit smoking. I can count on 3 or 4 hands the amount of those people that started smoking as an adult. And most of those people started smoking cannabis, then went on to cigarettes. But everyone else has been a kid. I was 11, my brother was 9. You know, kids 13. I had someone whose granddad gave him a cigarette when they were 7. But we're making the best decisions, we think, at that time, because our friends are smoking, or we want to look grown up, or more attractive, whatever it is. But we don't have to live with those decisions anymore. One of the most useless sayings in the English language, I don't know if you have it in America, is, you made your bed, you've got to lie in it. Why? If it's uncomfortable, get out of it, make it again. It's the most useless saying ever. We don't have to live with those decisions anymore. So I'm going to show you how to do this. It's a thing I created called the blink and delete technique. Tell me what the time is, to be honest, I'll lose track. Okay. Called the blink and delete technique. And this is how it works. It's very simple. Whenever you have that voice in your head which says, I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm never going to achieve this, I'm not any good, all that crap that comes out of our head at times, whenever that voice goes off in your head, I can't do this, I can't do that, you're going to ask this question. When did I make that decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? Was it even my decision? You're going to ask that question. And I promise you this, the moment you ask the question, you'll go to where you made the decision. You won't need 20 years of therapy to get there. And the hard thing is to think, can that possibly be true? So you ask that question. When did I make that decision? I can't do this, or I'm not any good, or I'll never achieve that. How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? And was it even my decision? I'll tell you the fourth part of that answer or question. Was it even my decision? Very often it wasn't your decision. It was someone else's opinion about you. Maybe a caring person that thought, you know, you're an academic kid, but you're not very sporty. Or you're a sporty kid, but you're not very academic. Or you think, well, I'm a child, they're an adult, that must be true. So once you've asked that question, you go to where, I promise you, you'll go to where you made the decision. And many times, not always, many times it will be before you were 7 years old. And you look at that child, and you look at that decision, and you ask this next question. Now that I've evolved, because you have, you're not the same woman you were a week ago, you're definitely not the same woman you were 30 years ago. You've evolved. You've got strengths, experiences, learnings you never had 20 years ago. So you say, now I've evolved, is that decision any longer viable? Or is it an obsolete decision that I made in a less informed state? And if the answer comes back, yes, it's obsolete, it's no longer useful, blink twice and delete it. That's all you have to do. Then you go to neutral emotion. And I'm going to teach you in a while how to go to neutral. You go to neutral emotion, because in neutral, you can make the right decisions. You can take the right action, you can get the right outcome. Most of the big decisions we make in our life are made in an emotional state. And when we're emotional, we're not functioning properly. We're not functioning optimally when you're angry or jealous or crazy in love. You're not functioning properly. I say to my clients and my students, and my son cringes when I say it, I say, never get married when you're madly in love. That's not the time to make that decision. When you can't wait to jump their bones. That is not the time to make that decision. Wait until you're having a cup of coffee with each other, don't know what to say to each other, and if you still want to change your life with them, make that decision then. Not when you're mad, crazy in love. You know, because you're not functioning properly. So you look at that, so you go to neutral, I'm going to show you how to get there, and you make a new decision. In neutral. Because in neutral, you can make the right decision. I'm not really great at poetry. I'm sure someone will tell me what these words are. And it might be Kipling, it might be Yeats, I don't know. But it starts like this. If you can keep your head while all around are losing theirs, I don't know, a better man you'll be, or something like that. Anyone know those words? I'm sure some of you have heard it. But it's a famous poem. And that's what we can do. If you can keep your head while all around are losing theirs, you're going to be in a different state. When chaos is going on, if you can go to neutral in that situation, if you've got young kids and they're driving you crazy, to be able to go to neutral, in a neutral state, to be able to deal with that situation. This is a powerful thing, and this is the way I think we can upgrade our brain, because you can do this while you're sitting on a bus, you can do it while you're on a train journey, you can do it while you're driving your car. The thought comes in, I'm not any good at this. I'll never achieve it. When did I make that decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? Was it even my decision? You'll immediately go there. And you look at it again from where you are now. And say, now I've evolved. Is that decision any longer viable? If not, blink twice, delete it. Go to neutral, which I'm going to show you how to do now. And then make a new decision. We don't have to live with decisions that we made as kids or teenagers. We can continue to upgrade. Does this make sense? I'm going to help you to get into a state of neutral. You know, some years ago, I mean, time flies when you're this age, but I don't know, it might be 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I had an idea that we could negate an emotion. In fact, at that point in time, I thought we could switch off our emotions. And so I just put the idea out there. I think I've found a way to switch off our emotions. And someone on Facebook said, well, if you can switch off your emotions, doesn't that make you more robot than human? And I thought about that for a while, but now I've been teaching people how to do this and I use it for myself. I will say this, I don't think it makes you more robot, I think it makes you a more advanced human being. Because until you have control of your emotions, you are a slave to your emotions. You know, someone cuts us up on the road, we get angry. I think we have a right to be angry. But you're never going to speak to that person, but now you're angry, take that into your house. But I have a right to be angry. My partner's 2 hours late home. Where is she? Where is he? All that stuff that goes on in your head, they come home and explain they've been stuck in traffic. It's too late, now I'm feeling jealous. They're going to suffer and everyone around me is going to suffer. Because we indulge ourselves in our emotions. The hard thing with this, I'm going to teach you in a moment, is to admit that you're behaving badly. And for men, it's really hard. We make every excuse for our bad behaviour other than say, yeah, I'm behaving badly. The first thing is to accept you're behaving badly. That the emotion you're feeling is detrimental to you and the people around you. And then go to neutral. I'm going to show you how to do it. But the upside of this is that if we can negate an emotion, a negative emotion, then we must be able to ramp up a good emotion. I'm going to show you how to do both these things so you have complete control of your emotions. And of all the things I've created, the arrow technique, the time machine, the jumping numbers, all these things that I've created, for me, this is the most important. Because if you have control of your emotions, you can keep that feeling and negate any negative emotion. Imagine, because you're going to be able to do it in a while, that if someone winds you up or makes you feel angry, you can go, no, doesn't suit me, and go to neutral. And be honest with you, it's the most infuriating thing in an argument, isn't it? When you're arguing with someone, they just go, yeah, it's fine, yeah, it's not nodding. They're not getting fazed by it. It's the worst thing, most frustrating thing in an argument. Well, I'm going to show you to do this, okay? Are you ready to take full control of your emotions? Okay. Now, how many people are using the arrow technique? Wow. Okay, so all of you will better do this. How many are using TPM, Total Perception Management? Great, because that's what you're about to learn now. Okay? Because nothing exists outside of your skull except its perception. You've seen it with pain. I didn't give these people any potions. Nothing exists outside of your skull except its perception. That goes for emotions as well. We like to think of ourselves as this, we are, most incredible creation. But there's nothing about you that cannot be changed with a blunt instrument or a scalpel. I know it's harsh, but that is true. You know, when I was creating this technique, these things pop up every now and again, quotes from Shakespeare for some reason. I've never read Shakespeare. But the man was around 500 years ago and he was a genius, obviously, probably an alien, come to think of it. Because the things he was talking about then and things he came up with then were just beyond anything anyone else was thinking. But I was thinking about this and I read this quote from him. He said, I could be bound in a nutshell and still consider myself king of infinite space were it not for bad dreams. I'll say it again. I could be bound in a nutshell and still consider myself king of infinite space were it not for bad dreams. He was thinking the same thing I was thinking. There's nothing exists outside of your skull. You are all looking at me. And you could describe me to the lady next to you, and you could describe me to the lady sitting there. You'd probably say he's wearing a black shirt, he's got a little goatee beard, he's got a bald head, speaks with a London accent. And you'll think you're looking at the same thing. But I don't exist outside of your skull. If you could for one moment have this lady's perception of what I would look like, or that lady's perception, it'd be so different to yours, it'd be psychedelic, because I don't exist other than electrically excitable cells and synapses and all those things I don't understand in your brain. Think about that. Nothing exists outside of your skull except its perception. To be able to choose your emotions, to wake up in the morning and say, today I decide to be happy, no matter what. How would that feel? No matter what's going on in your life, say, today I decide to be happy. Because we have the ability, you're all going to have the ability to do it. Some of you will use it, some of you will absolutely use this, and it will change your life. You know, I said earlier, I think it makes us a more advanced human being. I don't know how many millennia, because it might start in this room. Once enough of us have full control of our emotions and we are reproducing, some of that stuff's going to get dumped in your genes. And I can imagine a world where everyone has control of their emotions. Imagine if Putin had control of his emotions. Imagine these people who are running these wars and running these countries. If they had complete control of their emotions, how our life would be different. So I know it's a dream, but I think this the next evolutionary step in mankind is to have control of our emotions. I know it's a big thing. It's not going to happen tomorrow or next week, maybe not for thousands of years. But anyway, it might start in this room. So are you ready to have complete control of your emotions? How many, because I asked this question before, how many of you can snap? Is there anyone that can't snap their fingers? Right, okay. All right, okay. Well, once we've done that healing today, you'll probably find your movement becomes easier. So this is what we're going to do, all right? We're going to hypnotise you. And we're going to take you through the arrow technique, but this time in the target, we're going to put every negative emotion you've ever experienced. Hate, malice, sadness, frustration, you name it. Every negative emotion. And we're going to eliminate those from your mind and body. And you're going to end in a space of neutral emotion. It's going to seem really weird for you because you probably never experienced neutral. But you're going to end in that space, and then we're going to anchor it. I'm going to anchor it with a snap. And we're going to do that 3 or 4 times until that snap you're going to use to return to a state of neutral. And then I'm going to run it again, and then we're going to put you through that target. But the second time round, we're going to flood the target with every positive emotion. Love, kindness, happiness, passion, pleasure, every positive emotion. And I'm going to show you how to ramp that up. So you then have complete control of your emotions, okay? Ready? Okay, you know how to do this. Take a breath in, place your feet flat on the floor, make sure you're in a safe space. No matter how relaxed you become, your chair will support you. Get a sense now of just drifting into that space of hypnosis. You all know how to do this, you're experts at it. And just imagine you're drifting deeper and deeper into that space. Just dropping down through space and time. As if time and space no longer exist. Just drifting into that beautiful space. And the deeper you go, the better you're going to feel. Once again, in a moment, you're going to have the experience of drifting up out of your physical body and leaving your body in that chair. And get a sense of that happening now. Just drifting up out through the top of your head and leaving your body where it is. And once again, look back at that body and show it some appreciation. Because your body, your mind, is the most incredible creation. Get a sense of that now. Get a sense of drifting up out of this building once again. That feeling of liberation, free of all earthly ties, just drifting higher and higher. Drifting so high that you could see this planet we're living on. And once again in your mind's eye, get a sense of that target, like an artery target or a spinning vortex of light. And in the center of that target is every negative emotion you've ever felt, and some you may have never experienced, is in the center of that target. And in a moment I'm going to make that sound. As I make that sound, you'll be fired, shot like an arrow, straight through that target, into that space of neutral emotion. Every negative emotion is going to be wiped from your body and mind. You're going to enter that space of neutral. Get ready. And now you're in that space. Just drifting in that space of neutral. Nothing bothers or affects you. Nothing disturbs you. Just you and the sound of my voice in a state of neutral. And as you experience it, I'm going to snap my fingers once. And that feeling of neutral is going to anchor to the sound of that snap. From today, whenever you want to enter a state of neutral, where you can think straight, where you can make the right decisions, take the right actions, get the right outcome, you snap your fingers once and you'll enter that state of neutral. From today, wherever you are, you snap your fingers once and you access that feeling of neutral. Now get a sense once again of drifting even further away from this planet. See that planet spinning off into space. And see that target once again. Now in the center of that target is every positive emotion you've ever experienced. Love, kindness, joy, happiness, passion, pleasure is in the center of that target. In a moment I'll make that sound again, but this time when you go through that target, your mind and body are going to be flooded with the most intense, incredible feelings of love and joy and happiness. Get ready, way beyond anything you've experienced before. Get ready. And now you're in that space. And feel that feeling of love growing. Feel that feeling of passion and pleasure, happiness, joy. Feel it growing. I'm going to snap my fingers twice really quickly. It's going to get 10 times stronger, 10 times more powerful. Feel it growing. And as you snap your fingers now, feel that feeling getting stronger and stronger. That's right. Every positive emotion, spin it up. Keep it going. Snap it twice and it's going to get stronger and stronger. And from today, whenever you're feeling that feeling of positive joy and love, you snap your fingers twice, you're going to spin that feeling up. And if you want to negate an emotion, I'm not going to ask you to do it now because I want you to bring this feeling of joy and happiness back with you. You just snap your fingers once. When you need to think straight, when you need to make the right decision, take the right actions, get the right outcome. Now as you're in that beautiful space, I'll say it again. And these words, again, are Sandra's, not mine. The words she used on me to make me experience that feeling of absolute joy. You are love, you are loved, and you are loving. The core of your being is pure energy, light, and love. That's who you are. And anything that's not that is not you. Feel into that now. Get a sense of it. In a moment, I'm going to count to 10. But you're going to bring this feeling back with you, and this new understanding, you have complete control of you. And your life will change. 1, feeling absolutely wonderful. 2, to create the life you want by helping others create the life they want. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limiting belief that ever held you back. 4, feel the force of that energy and love flooding through your body and mind. 5, feeling incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely wonderful. 9, 10. Right, let's get that feeling of love up. Just don't do this eyes open, do it eyes open. Get that feeling of love up and let's ramp it up. Just keep snapping. See how strong you can get it. Snap twice, that's right, look at that lady's face. Right, I don't know what you're thinking about, but it looks pretty good. Right, keep that feeling going, spin it up, because now it belongs to you, okay? Right, excellent. And, sorry, I'll forget your name again. Brian? Just clap your hands once. Until your hands are back to normal, because I fully expect in this room, with the energy in this room, those changes are going to take place in your body. So, the blink and delete. Ask the question, when did I make the decision? How old was I? Where was I? Who was I with? Was it even my decision? You go to where you made the decision. You look at it again from where you are now. Take the learnings from it, take the strengths from it. Ask that question, is it any longer viable? No. Blink twice and delete the decision. Then you go to neutral and you make a new decision. We don't have to live with decisions that we made when we were 4, 5, 6, 7 years old. Have we all got this? Are there any questions on this? Okay.
Did you write about that?
Sorry?
Did you write about that in your new book?
Yeah, I think it's in my new book. Yeah. This lady's just asked me if it's in my new book, and if you haven't got my new book, I'm not going to sell you anything.
I'll say it, order it.
Okay. It's called the. Oh, you've got it there. Can I have it, Sam? Thanks. And it's this book, The Exquisite Art of Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy, and I'm lucky enough to know some incredible people, truly incredible people, and it's called Beyond Techniques and Protocols. I'm going to show you in a minute what I think is the most important thing we can learn to help people change. I'm going to tell you that first. I wasn't about to sell my book, to be honest with you, but you asked the question. Blink and delete's in there. But I reached out and I asked Mike Mandel, because I love Mike and I think he's brilliant. And so I asked him if he was willing to write a chapter, and he said yes. So I asked Nicholas Spone, who's now my business partner in the Ministry of the Mind, he said he'd write a chapter. I asked Sandra, she's written a chapter. I asked Marina, she wrote a chapter. James Tripp, Rob de Groof, so many great people added a chapter to this. So it's not just about me, it's not just my thoughts, it's all these incredible people. Laurie Hammond, I can't remember them all. In fact, I might as well read them, hadn't I? So Rob de Groof, Laurie Hammond, my son Anthony, Carl Smith, James Tripp, Mike Mandel, Jessa Michaels, Richard Hill, Kaz Riley, Nicholas Spone, Sandra Grace, Matt Hale, Marina, Dr. Marina, Paulina Trevina, she was here talking about aphantasia, Helen Wyatt and Kev Webster. So there's great people written on different things. One of them is marketing. Sorry, you can have that back. But this, I have to say, see that cover? I have a friend called Felicia, and she did some training with me in, Romania. And she's an artist. And we became friends. And I wrote a book called The Lazy Way to Enlightenment and Unlimited Happiness. And I asked her if she'd do the cover for me. She did. She just did other art in that cover. So I asked if I could use one of those bits of art for my new cover. She said, I'll paint you a new one. And that for me is the most beautiful cover. I've got the original painting hanging on my wall. But for someone to take the time out to do something special for you, it's just great. So yes, that's the book. I haven't got it with me, I'm not trying to sell it, it's only that lady asked. But it's on Amazon if you want to buy it. Anyway, where was I? What was I talking about? See, what have you done to me now? Huh? Say that again?
Most important technique.
Oh, the most important thing we can learn, all right? Thank you. You'll be old one day, don't laugh. Right, this for me, and there's a guy called Napoleon Hill, and someone recommended this book. I don't know where I saw it, but it was recommended. And I don't read generally because I fall asleep after 2 pages, I'm gone, right? But I got it on Audible. So I'm listening to this book by Napoleon Hill. It's called Think and Grow Rich. I don't even know why I bought it, because it's not my main reason for being. But it was interesting. Think and Grow Rich. So anyway, I bought the book. In the book, he talks about the 3 things he talks about auto-suggestion, which we now call self-hypnosis. But excuse me. He said that when you mix the 3 most powerful emotions, which he says is faith, love, and sex. When you do that, it creates an environment which gives power to an impulse thought. I'll say it again. When you mix those three powerful emotions, or you tap into those emotions, love, faith, and sex, it creates an environment which gives power and action to an impulse thought. You know, we've been talking today about emotion, and generally, the emotion I'm going to try and elicit from you is the feeling of love, because I think that's the most powerful emotion. And once we elicit that power, then it creates it gives power to that impulse thought. That's how we're changing people's minds, or we're helping people change their minds. So that was really important. But the main part about that, he talks about faith. That's a pretty old-fashioned word, faith. But for me, that's the same as belief. And so I realised, and this is what I want you to take from this. Don't take anything else from this presentation. I want you to take this from it. I realised when I read that book why I am so effective. And I am. I am really effective. I know I can help people change their lives. And the reason, and I didn't know it until I read that book, it's not a belief in my own ability, it's a total belief in my client's ability to change. When someone says to me, "Oh, yeah, can you help me quit smoking?" I say, "Yes, you've had your last cigarette. Tomorrow the sun will come up." Not yes, with a bit of luck and a wind behind us, we might get you out of this habit. No, that's not going to work. You know, I know that person is capable of change. So I hold that absolutely. I hold it so absolutely that it doesn't give my client any space to doubt it. If I hesitate for a moment, how long is this going to be? Well, get it right, maybe 12 weeks? No. When you leave here today, that fear and anxiety will be gone. Tomorrow, the sun will come up. There's no change in my tone of voice. This, of all the things you can take from this, and it's not been taught anywhere else, to my knowledge, the most important thing that we need to know is to hold an absolute belief in our client's ability to change. Sometimes you'll look at your client and you'll think, are they bright enough? Will they understand me? You know, the genius of all of the hypnotherapy world, Milton Erickson, he was dealing with someone who had cancer of the jaw. And as a last resort, they called in the magician, you know, Milton Erickson, the wizard. So this guy was dying, and he had 3 months or so to live, but he wanted to be able to converse with his family. He didn't want any more morphine because he couldn't communicate. So they called Erickson in. And Erickson did his stuff, and this guy was free of the pain. And someone asked Erickson afterwards, they said, "Did you know you could do that?" And he said these words. And for us as therapists, they're the most important things we can learn. Honestly, he said these words. He said, "I had my doubts. What I had no doubt about was I could keep my doubts to myself." Write it down if you've got a piece of paper in front of you. He said, "I had my doubts. What I had no doubt about was I could keep my doubts to myself." It's as hard to get down as it is the techniques you've been learning over these last 3 or 4 days. But it's as important as. It's not your belief in your own abilities. It's your belief in your client's ability. You hold that so absolutely that it doesn't give them any space to doubt it. Yeah, it's a hand up there. Yeah.
When I was up front and joined the experience with the pain, I asked myself in the experience, what is actually working here? And I felt the reason why I was able to transform was your confidence that there was no doubt that this is working.
I've seen it so many times that it's easy for me to say you're going to be free of the pain. You know, when I said, asked the question, didn't I? Is the pain useless and unnecessary? And you know, so I asked the question again. In a moment when the pain's gone, will it be detrimental to you? Not in a moment if the pain's gone. Not in a moment when that pain's gone. In a moment when the pain's gone, will it be detrimental? There's no doubt in my voice. There's no hesitation in my voice. I'm not giving these people any chance to doubt it. There's a young man there, he was here last year. Sorry, I don't remember your name now. Daniel? Yeah. I mean, Daniel, it was a shoulder. I
was hit by a drunk driver in 2017, and I had a chronic pain about 8, 9 for 7 years, and I did the aero technique with you last year, and the pain was gone. I just had stiffness. So when you did the aero technique today, that stiffness is not gone.
So the pain and the stiffness is gone. Yeah, this happens quite a lot, and some of you will notice changes in you, even though you weren't up here as a demo subject. I believe I coined the phrase collateral healing. So even if you're not a demo subject, if you're just listening, you understand that you can change, and it's hope. That's it, isn't it? You know, most of our clients come in and they've been everywhere else. They've done everything else. We use hypnosis, the last resort. I read this once. They said that medication might not always be necessary, but belief in a recovery is. If you don't believe you're going to recover, you will not recover. So part of what we do is giving that person, and it's not just false hope, because you know you can help people change. All of you in this room are already doing it. There's another book. It's called Beyond Pills and Potions. This is where I've got the strap line for my book, Beyond Techniques and Protocols. I believe it's written by a guy called Stephen Beer, I think his name is. Beyond Pills and Potions. If you haven't got it, get it and read it. This guy's a doctor. He's a medical doctor, a surgeon, and he's also a hypnotist. And he says this, and it's true. We're hardwired when we're born to follow the one least uncertain. I'll say it again. We're hardwired to follow the one least uncertain. In general, when we're born, that's our mum, generally, because she's going to be around more often, but our mum and our dad. And that keeps us safe. You know, we're going to follow that person. But because we're hardwired with it, that carries on through our life. I work with these doctors in England, the College of Medicine, and these guys are they're the royal doctors, so they're based in all the royal houses in England. And I did a presentation, and I'm trying to get across to them how important their words are, because they are hypnotists. They're hypnotising their clients all the time. If you say to a client, "This doesn't look very good," maybe you've got six months. That person can have 6 months. But in that book, The Pills and Potions, the part I love about it, and I use it on my clients now as well, he said that his mother-in-law was dying from colon cancer, and the prognosis was really poor. But they went to see the surgeon, and his surgeon walked in. He described him. He said, the surgeon walked in and looked at his mother and went, "You're a survivor. Let's get on with this." 10 years later, he's writing that book, and she's still around. If he said this doesn't look very good, that's what's going to happen. You know, I read this, there's some research done, really cruel research, where they put these rats into these water tanks. They put these rats in these water tanks, and they timed how long they could swim for. And after about 15 minutes, these rats started to drown. So what they did was, they took the rat out just before it was dead, just before it completely drowned, dried it off, and put it back in the tank. How long do you reckon a rat lasted for once they put it back in the tank? I'll tell you, it was 60 hours, 2.5 days. And what they realised was, the reason the rat swam for 60 hours, because they'd been saved once, and the thought that they might be saved again gave them the strength to swim for 60 hours. Belief in a recovery is major, and that's what we deal with here. if you think about what we do as therapists, the bottom line is we're changing the belief, aren't we? That's what we're doing. The client comes and says, I can't quit smoking. At some point in that hour or so of what we call a pre-talk, you're going to get to a point where they understand they can quit. For me, it's very simple with a smoker or someone on drugs who says to me, I can't do this, I can't quit. I've asked the question, who are the most important people in your life? So I sneak up on them like this, because I've spoken about the people I've seen who are dying, who've had an eye out through cancer, or a jaw off, or a leg off. And I say, you know, if you'd been to your doctor yesterday, and he said, have another cigarette, you'd die, the chance you quitting are minimal. I've seen over 25,000 people, they all, yes. They've been to the doctor's told them that. But I've already asked the question, who are the most important people in your life? And if one of those people is their wife, or their son, or their daughter, I'm going to say, but you have to ask the question. If Jenny's life depended upon you quitting, you'd quit, would you not? Every one of those people nodded and said, yes, I'd quit. I said, have you got any doubt? They go, no. In that moment, the belief they can't quit is gone. They've held that belief for 20 years. In 3 seconds, that belief's gone. They can still go and smoke, but can no longer believe they can't quit. So cracking that belief is very easy. Now, the other beliefs with smoking are obvious. I'm addicted to nicotine. We smash that. It's doing something for me. We smash that. And those are the 3 prongs that hold people to the smoking habit. And if you let anyone out of the room with one of those beliefs intact, they're going to smoke again. But we're not into a smoking lesson here. But I'm talking about beliefs here and how important it is for your client to have the belief that they're going to recover. Like the lady said there, the thing that she was feeling in there, that I had no doubt in my mind. I don't have any doubt in my mind. I know that lady's capable of being free of her pain. And for me as a human being, I can't see anything I'd rather do help another human being out of pain. It's the most amazing thing. You know, I've never charged anyone to help them out of physical pain. I'm not saying you should do it, but I've never done it. And the reason I don't do that, because 5 years ago, my mum, she was 88 then, a doctor had given a prescription, or a prescription for a thyroid, for a steroid. No, it's not. Anyway, some kind of pill. But it was supposed to be for a month, but they forgot to tell her it was for a month. So she was taking it for 18 months. And it destroyed her kidneys. So I get a call from her partner, and she lives 5 hours away from me. Get a call from her partner, your mum's in a really bad way, come down, you need to come now. So I went down, drove down, went to the hospital. She's in bed, and she can only move her left arm. Her body's swelling up because her kidneys are in failure, and she's in agony. And she said, I don't think I'm going to get out of here very quickly. And I thought, you're not going to get out of this hospital at all, because you look so ill. And I'm always reluctant to work with my family. I suppose you are as well. It's just an odd thing, isn't it, when you're trying to hypnotise your son or your mum or whatever it is. So I said, look, Mum, there's a thing I can run with you. I ran quantum healing and the arrow for the pain. So anyway, I had to go back. I had clients and work to do the next day. I stayed with her for a few hours and I went back to my house. The next morning, I get a call from her partner saying, your mum is out of bed, she's in the shower, and she's showering on her own. And she hasn't got any pain. And in that moment, I thought, if someone could have done that for my mum and it wasn't me, I'd be so pleased. And I, rightly or wrongly, I made a decision. I'm never going to charge anyone to help out physical pain. Emotional pain is different, but physical pain, I'm not going to charge. And so that was it for me. And I can't think of anything else that we can do that's more satisfying than helping someone out of their pain, whether it's physical or emotional. And you'll have the ability to do it. The arrow technique, which you've seen me use 3 or 4 times now, how complex is it? No, hypnotise them. You don't even have to hypnotise them. I want every doctor in the world to know the arrow technique. Most doctors would say, medical doctors, I haven't got time to do hypnosis with my client. I haven't got 25 minutes to hypnotise my client. They're not going to use it. But the arrow technique takes 4 minutes to help people out of pain. And you don't even have to mention the word hypnosis. You say, there's this technique, psychological technique. that will help you. If you're giving your patient maximum painkillers and it's not touching the pain, I think it'll become like everyone will have to do it. You have to offer this technique. You're not giving them any more pills or potions. You know, we've got an opiate epidemic, haven't we? I think 47,000 Americans died last year from accidental overdose, not even purposeful overdoses, accidental opiate overdoses. So why would you not offer a patient this? And I'm going to run it again. You'll see how it works, okay? You can open your eyes, close your eyes. Get a sense of drifting up out of your body. I'm going to give you the bare bones of this. You don't have to go into the whole thing about the world. Get a sense of drifting up out of your body. Get a sense of drifting away from your body. Get a sense of drifting up into the sky, like a helium balloon that some young child's let go of. Get a sense of drifting so high, you can actually look down in your mind's eye, see a target, like an archery target. In the center of the target is every ounce of that useless, unnecessary pain that you were experiencing. And notice what I've just done there. I didn't say that you are experienced, I'm saying you were experiencing. I've already put it in the past. In a moment, I'm going to make this sound. Whoosh. As I make that sound, you'll be fired, shot like an arrow, straight through that target into a space of freedom. But be brave. Because as you go through the target, you may experience that pain even more intensely for a split second, but be brave. Now, people ask, why have I put that in there? Why would you want your client to suffer even for a split second? And the reason is this. Listen to my words. I say, be brave. Here comes, I've already wound them up. No one wants to go through it even for a split second. So I've created an emotion, yeah? What's the next thing I'm going to do? I'm going to give them a suggestion. And here's the suggestion. Be brave. This is the last time this is ever going to affect you. That's a massive thing to say to someone. Be brave. This is the last time it's ever going to affect you. Whoosh, now you're out the other side. And you do it as quickly as that. Not like Bob Burns. Don't want to be doing that stuff, right? Now you're out the other side. In a space of bliss. Then create an emotion. You know, think of the people you love. And notice as you feel that love, that pain's gone from your body. So think about, what we're doing here. They dissociate, right? They've drifted up out of their body. That in itself is relief for someone in pain. So you'll dissociate. Now you fire them through the target. That's double dissociation. Have you got it? Now the third thing is you say this. Now drift across the other side of the room so you can see yourself in that chair. See the clothes you're wearing, hear my voice. And notice as you watch yourself that every ounce of that pain's gone. If they're across the other side of the room watching themselves, they can't feel that pain. I've done this for people who are just about to go through childbirth. I say, what would it be like to watch yourself having your child from the other side of the room? Have that experience. You can teach people how to do this. You can do it for yourself. So watch yourself. And notice that every ounce of that pain's gone. And only as quickly as the unconscious mind knows and has made the changes and allows the conscious mind. Now listen, the sentence is this, and allows the conscious mind to accept the changes made, right? There's the sentence. But I'm going to embed a command here. Only as quickly as the unconscious mind knows and allows the conscious mind accept the changes made. Right? Allows the conscious mind to accept the changes made is a sentence. Only as quick as the unconscious mind knows and allows the conscious mind accept the changes made. Only then will you drift back over to your body. This is all double bind statements. Only as quickly as, only then will your eyes open and you unable to feel that pain. It's a simple technique. Don't be put off by the fact that you can do this in minutes, but do it as if you've done it 1,000 times, and do it with the absolute belief that person's going to get freedom from it. Minister of the mind if you want to change your life. All right, thanks.
Great, appreciate it.
Okay, great.